I couldn't get in. I was like, let me in. Oh. Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Sorry, it's a bit later than normal.
Anyone new after winter returns?
Oh yeah.
Has training been kind of build up to the weekend disrupted at all?
Yeah. We had to train in the snow. It was something that became unavoidable because it came down so quick. An hour before we actually trained, it was fine, and then by the time training came round, it was snowy. But no, we trained, so no excuses.
And how's your team looking? Any fresh players coming back or fresh injuries?
No, I don't think any fresh injuries. Some boys are getting closer. Czech, who's done a little bit of training this week, so he's close. We didn't risk him today actually when the snow came down because it would have been silly to do that. But yeah, the boys are getting closer, but nothing that really is going to affect this weekend. But as the days and weeks go by, obviously it becomes a bit more positive, and the quicker we can get some guys back, the better.
Given your position at the moment, how important was the mentality that your players showed last weekend? From behind twice to get that point.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it in two ways. Obviously, going behind twice is not good at home, and on reflection, looking at the game, we had to work really hard for our goals and scored two really good goals. And I wouldn't say we gifted Everton goals, but we certainly didn't cover ourselves in glory with them. That's for sure. So that's something obviously that needed talking. But at the same time, on the fact that we did go behind twice and showed the character and resilience to get something out of the game, and feel slightly disappointed that we didn't do a little bit more in terms of getting the 3 points, I think is reassuring. As I said straight after the Everton game, particularly after what went on at West Ham. So yeah, we can take belief from that. We can take some encouragement, and okay, won't get carried away. It's only a draw at home, but at the same time, we did give ourselves some difficult situations to get through, and we did get through them. So, we should, like I said, we should take encouragement from that.
In terms of mentality, Spurs will be hurting right now. Are you facing them at a good time?
Well, they're a fantastic team. They're going for Champions League. I watched them last night live. I went to the game in Champions League football, so they play at an unbelievable level anyway. Obviously, the new stadium is incredible, and great play to go and play a football match, particularly in the Premier League. So we're expecting a really tough game. We don't pay too much attention in good or bad times to play a team because you often get the opposite to what you can predict. So no, we got to be really focused on ourselves. I'll bring it up before you do about the away form, and that's something that we're clearly trying to improve and address. So yeah, it's going to be a really tough game, but it's one that we want to go into with confidence, with commitment, knowing that we need to do better away on the road. But regardless of that, it's a game that we have to be at our very best at anyway to do well in. So yeah, we're looking forward to going down there.
You talked about the away form. Can you pinpoint just what is being done differently away from home?
Well, if I could, then we'd change and address it. So listen, I keep it simple. We're working really hard. We're talking about it. We're thinking about strategies. We're thinking about what we can do to improve things. Players are involved in the process like they always are with everything that we do here, and it's a challenge that we are facing up to, and there's only one way of bettering it, and that's doing better in away games. So yeah, I could talk all day about it, but in the end we've got to turn up at Spurs on Saturday and really back ourselves, really believe in ourselves. It's not a lack of will, it's not a lack of wanting to do well, that's for sure. We all want the same thing, so I think it's about belief and character and confidence and hopefully the right plan. So yeah, we're looking to improve, that's for sure.
You've experienced previously what Harry Kane can do to a team.
I think everybody has. Yeah.
Is he always got to be the main focus when you're preparing to face Tottenham?
Yeah, incredible player. all-rounded as well. Obviously, the goals are the X factor in him, but there's so many other great attributes to him. But there's also a lot of other attacking threats that Spurs offer as well. So of course we need to be mindful of that, and we're aware of it. We've played them twice already in the League Cup, as well as the home first game. So, but that was a while ago. Obviously, the World Cup's been between them, and a lot has happened for both teams. But we are aware of Spurs' strengths, but we've got to focus on our strengths as well and what we can bring to the game. And if we don't do that, then, like I said, we don't give ourselves the best chance, and that's what we have to do.
And you've got Brennan Johnson, a player who's really settling into life in the Premier League. 2 goals again last weekend. How impressed have you been in just how much he is settling into his first season in the Premier League?
Well, I've been impressed with Brennan since I've been here. I think my focus for Brennan at the moment is can he do what he's been doing away from home, like all of us. So we're only thinking short term with him, and it's next game, it's next preparation, and that's for an away game. And he, like everybody else, including myself, is trying to give the best of ourselves in an away game. So that's just where our focus is, and that's his challenge this week. And I guess that's how we're working with Brennan. He's still very much in his, as becoming a Premier League player goes, in the developmental stage, although he is producing at the moment. But his challenge has got to be able to keep that going, home and away. And we're enjoying working with him. He's a great story behind him, obviously being a local boy and coming through the academy and sort of playing going on loan in League One and then Championship last year, where he sort of excelled there, and trying to do the same now in the Premier League. So we're enjoying working with him. It's great because he wants to do well and he wants to learn, and we've got to keep pushing him. And but the best bit, the exciting bit, is there's a long way to go, and he will be first to say that.
And in terms of development, just how much has your team as a whole developed since that first time you played Tottenham right near the beginning of the season? How far have you come as a team?
Well, certainly a lot has passed since then. A lot of change and lots of experiences, some good, some not so good. I like to think that we have grown, but we are still building. We are still growing. We are still trying to become the team that we want and need to be, while trying to win enough games, pick up enough points along that journey. So we're committing to the way we work. We're committing to the way we sort of act with the players, the way they act with each other. Trying to stay consistent to it, and obviously trying to deal with these games as they come, which are every single one of them is a really tough test. So how far we come, let's see at the end of the season. But now it's just about getting ready for the next game.
And just finally, you know what it's like to be opposite Antonio Conte in the dugout. What sort of a manager is he, do you think? And obviously, lots of speculation and talk over him at the moment, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not so sure about any speculation, and I wouldn't focus on that. I certainly won't make comment. What I do know is a huge amount of respect for him and what he's done in his career and what he's doing. From his club career to his international coaching as well with the Italian national team. So a huge amount of respect for him and what he's done. And like I said, you've come up against him twice already this year, and coming up against, although I never think about coming up against the manager, it's about coming up against as a team. But we are coming up against his team again on the weekend, and for sure we have to be 100% ready for it. Thanks, Kirsty. Thanks. Hiya, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Your name was mentioned in a report as a possible candidate for a Tottenham manager. Obviously, we know what you said last week about how you feel about Forest, but is that sort of
irrelevant? It's irrelevant. It's the only thing is irrelevant. I said what I said last week. I don't really need or want to say it again. The only focus for me is the game, is the guys that I'm working with every single day, and trying for me to be at my best, to do a good day's work, try and get them to do the same, and we give ourselves a chance then of like Kirsty's question, is just trying to be a better team away from home, and we're embracing that challenge. It's something we've had a lot of hurdles to try and overcome this season, and we will continue to have them from now until the end of the season. Look at the last game against Everton. It was loads of context to it, regardless of who we were playing and league positions, but what we did the week before at West Ham. So yeah, I'm loving this journey with the players, but it's a challenging one, but one that we're enjoying, and anything outside of that sort of bubble is completely irrelevant. So the moment I'm not thinking about Nottingham Forest or the players or the staff or even how I can be at my best is the moment I'm not getting it right or giving it my all here, and that's not what I want to be. I want to be all in. I've said that from day one. I am, and not looking further than going to London and playing against Tottenham.
It's validation though for the job you're doing here.
We've got a really tough few months coming up, defining couple of months coming up. It's where we want to be. Premier League football, whatever the situation, this time of the season is where it starts to get really, really interesting. Like I said, wherever you are in the league, every club is playing for something. Some things are different than others. But we worked so hard, last season to be in a position like this. People have worked at the club for years and years to be in a place like this, from ownership all the way down to every single member of staff and player. So it's where we want to be. We're looking forward to the next couple of months, as you know, one step at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time, and yeah, let's try and relish the situation that we're in. Thanks. Hi, are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. All football seasons are roller coasters.
Definitely.
For you guys, I think, because of the homely away form, it's even more so. Have you got an emotional squad? Do they feel that on a Monday morning?
Definitely got a squad that cares. Definitely got a squad that we have good relationships now in the club in terms of we've got to know the players, how they got to know the staff, and I like to think, and everyone's different and they open up in different ways. Some maybe as a one-to-one, others in front of the group, and I think we've very much spent a lot of time trying to learn about each other and understand each other. So if emotional is the right word to use, but and a group is always made up of differences, because that's just how it is, especially when you've got a squad of say 25 is the number that you can name. So it's trying to manage all them differences and becoming a collective. But what I do know on the whole is, and I've said this all the way through the season, you've heard me say it before, I see a group of players that really care and have shown good character across the season, and sometimes times where we all could have done a bit better, of course, and that will, I'm sure, continue, as you said, roller coaster. But there's no lack of will, there's no lack of wanting to do well, there's a real support for each other, and I think that will help us, in this roller coaster, or on this roller coaster, as you quite rightly put it. So we need to keep that for sure. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just a couple of quick follow-ups from me. Of course, like you've said, it's an interesting time of the season. We're approaching nearest damn it a third of the Premier League season left, and I know the focus, of course, is on the game, but I'm just interested to get your thoughts on what the season's been like from your perspective so far.
I respect the question, but I don't think it's a time to be talking about that. I'll happily answer it at the end. So I say answer it respectfully. What I do know is that we are really committed to, or have been committed to, where we have been up to now, and want to continue minimum that for as you said, the last third of the season, and that's going to be needed. That's going to be required. But I'm pretty sure that's what we'll be given as a bare minimum, because of what I just said to the previous question about the guys and staff are really wanting to do well, and so we want something, you've got to commit to it, and that's where we're at. So I hope to give you a positive answer to that question at the end of the season, but there's a lot of work, still a lot of games, a third of games as you put it, to ensuring that's the case. So yeah, step by step, game by game, Spurs next.
Sure, and in the Premier League table, of course, you look across it and it's tight in in every single department, top,
Yeah.
middle and bottom. Do you expect it to be that tight in the main gather at the end of the season?
Maybe. I mean, but that's what I mean. Like wherever you are in the league, you're playing for something, and ours will be different to what Spurs is, and stuff like that. St Everton last week, maybe something similar. I don't know, but but this is where you want to be. This is elite sport. This is elite football. You know, real cutting edge stuff, and we've got to relish the moment. We've got to back ourselves. We've got to believe in ourselves, and just only think about ourselves, and that's what we're doing. And we're obviously looking forward to it, but we're looking forward to it in a motivated, committed fashion. Really believing in our plan. Really believing in each other, backing each other, and hopefully come game days delivering. You know, and that's what we got to try and do.
Thanks very much, Steve.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Cameras off, please. Written section embargo till 10:30.
Hi, Carl.